He fled into a house. He took his own daughter as hostage. Standard principle, we're going to try to talk you out, and then we're going to try to gas you out before we take you out. Moments before we go through the door of the bedroom, he kills the daughter. One incident that, was played heavy on me was we had an incident that was born out of South Florida. There was a man who killed two people in a bank drop from an armored car drop at a small convenience store, killed two people and fled to Central Florida.
Who did he kill? Civilians or the security guards or the?
He killed the owners of the convenience store. He owned a local paint and body shop. A known guy, a little bit in the Broward County area. We didn't know him, of course. They give a description of his car. Orange County deputy picks up on him getting off the Florida Turnpike. We follow him. He feels he's being followed by an unmarked car, tries to elude us. He shoots that deputy, Scott Winters. I'm walking into SeaWorld with my new wife at that time, and
Your kids or no? No kids.
Yeah, we're in tow, and I get the call, and I got to leave you. So I had a car pick me up because we were in our family car, and ended up being a 3-day ordeal. He fled into a house, took 6 hostages. God was on one of the sides. So one of the hostages was a black male who was taking a shower. And so the bad guy pulls the shower curtain back, points the gun at the guy. The guy opens his mouth wide. The guy shoots him in the mouth, and he shoots him at an angle, and the bullet exits his cheek. But he falls down. So the bad guy thinks he's now killed this guy. He's out. And about two.
And I got to just take this a little slower. We got a guy just did an armed robbery. He shoots and kills with the husband and wife who own the store.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the run. Is it the same day that your officers get behind him?
Yeah.
So there's a fresh bolo. He makes it about 3 hours north into Orange County, Orlando area. Officer gets behind him, tries to initiate a traffic stop.
Well, he's just following him at that time, and the bad guy thinks he's being followed, then flees into a neighborhood called Meadowwoods. Regular resident, pulls in front of a house that he has no connection to. It's a family. In fact, they got a visitor in the house from Jamaica at the time, and he takes all the people hostage. And
how does he shoot the officer? Orange County
with a handgun. He bails out, and he just kind of a blind luck, Murphy's Law, how it goes, right?
Did that officer survive?
He did. Scott Winters survived.
So, but now we've got a double homicide suspect who just shot at a police officer and hit him, and now he's barricaded himself in a home with just completely. Can you imagine? You're taking a shower, and this double homicide suspect just kicks down your front door and takes your whole family hostage at gunpoint. It could just happen, just like that.
Yep.
Man's taking a shower and then he gets shot. Okay, so now we're caught up. I got the details.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we set up, inner and outer perimeter. We take control of the same. Try to start negotiations. Very difficult individual to negotiate with. Just kind of a hardcore attitude. Not willing to negotiate. Now, the house is fortified in the sense it's got iron bars over all the doors and windows. So there's a bit of a fortification. So entry through one of those points could be difficult, or at least delay immediate entry. We had capability of breaching through explosives or pulling through off with cables or otherwise.
At this point in time, you're the commander of this unit?
Yeah, I'm actually the incident commander at this incident.
Okay.
And so I'm over the overall incident. I have a SWAT commander and team leaders, and I have the utmost confidence in them. I've got a robot there. I've got an EOD
what
unit
year
there.
Is this?
This is 1999.
Okay.
But it's a significant event, and because what's happening, and so Broward detectives are on the way up. We're just having a very difficult time.
How are you communicating with him? On the phone, or you got the robot?
Yeah, phone. We hadn't deployed a throw phone. A throw phone is a device when you cut off the regular phone. It's a regular type of phone, but it has a cable that you can then run and speak directly. Because at some point during the event, we're going to take control of power and water and phone lines, internet, or anything else if necessary. But we're 2 hours into this, and this man who's bleeding profusely comes crawling out the front door. Bad guy's got all the hostages in the back bedroom. Mm-hmm. He comes crawling out. Turns out the story I told you, he opened his mouth, bullet came out his cheek.
Yeah, and how are you even aware that this guy made entry into the home? Because that shooting with the officer happened right in front?
It happened right there in front of that house. Okay. where Deputy Winters was shot.
And now you got more information as this guy crawls out from the shower.
Yeah.
And
We're getting better information because we don't know for sure how many people are in there. So we got a child, we got a teenager, we got adults.
So your wife's at SeaWorld with the kids. You just left her. She thinks you're an a-hole. And, duty calls. And now you're on scene, incident commander of this shit show. You wouldn't wish this upon anyone. And I don't care how much training you get. It's a very dynamic situation. You got now 5, 6 lives that hang in the balance. And you're in charge of the whole thing, Mike. You're in charge.
Yeah, and as I said, I had a lot of confidence in our team and the commander and et cetera. And I would like to get these hostages rescued, initiate a hostage rescue as soon as practical. The challenge was we didn't know where all the hostages were. They were in different rooms. So the location of the bad guy, we were concerned on the well-being of the other hostages. And so we were able to get a small child out through the front door midway through this, fortunately. There were some we later identified that the 16-year-old was being raped repeatedly during the event, and we didn't know that, and that just breaks my heart. It just a tragedy, but we were concerned on the safety of the others.
And I want to bring everyone up to speed. I'm only making my best guess. I've never been in that specific situation. You have a couple options always available. One is just, hey, can we just do this without any shots fired, without ever having to make entry? In a perfect world, he gives up and everybody walks out the front door. That's what you're striving for to some extent. At the same time, in your back pocket, I'm assuming you have a team ready to rock and roll and basically do a forced entry should shots start being fired or negotiations take a very steep dive, we should say. Or in this case, maybe had you known the girl was getting raped, but you didn't know, but that would have forced you to consider these other options.
Expedite.
Yeah.
Or even before entry, I had really well-schooled snipers. Would pray that we have that opportunity to neutralize the threat. With a long rifle as soon as practical. And we have an incredible dedicated sniper team there. I don't know if you've ever heard of White Feather, Carlos Hathcock. He's a legendary.
Yeah.
So all of our snipers were initially trained by Carlos Hathcock. We had a really unique relationship with him, and he ran a sniper school up in Virginia Beach, and we would bring him to the SWAT roundup.
Just the famous Vietnam sniper?
Very, very famous. Yes, that's the man. And so, but it wasn't so much the skill that he developed. They left with a mindset that changed those men forever that were trained by him. I've never seen a trainer do that, what he did. So we were blessed. So again, utmost confidence of this incredible sniper team that we have deployed there. Nevertheless, it didn't happen, didn't get the shot. Commander saying we can't make a appropriate entry at this time, goes on. So we're now there about 36 hours. We're going to let our sister agency, Orlando Police Department, relieve us so we can get some sleep. And an unfortunate incident occurred. So the bad guy had put a towel over one of the hostages, and his skin color and shirt the female was wearing was similar to the bad guy. And an Orlando sniper shot the hostage, killed him, thinking it was the bad guy. Unfortunate incident. I immediately returned, got back on scene. Within the hour, our team returned within the hour. We took back over again, went 55 hours. We ended up making an entry eventually, and on that 55th hour, bad guy, when we got outside the bedroom, he put his gun in his mouth and killed himself. In the situation, bad situation.
What made you, if you don't mind me asking, when we roll back, when we got to this 55th hour, what was the buildup that said, all right, this is it, we got to make entry? We
felt confident, or the team felt confident, that the location of the victims, his location, that we had a good understanding that we could breach, make entry, and minimize loss of innocent lives before we confronted the suspect and could neutralize the threat. So some intel and dynamics had changed.
Yeah.
And
was the entry through the front door?
It was through the front. And we had multiple actions rigged. We had explosive charges. We had multiple charges. At one point I had a robot up on the scene. He shot the heck out of the robot. Again, I challenged them, from an instant command standpoint of view, but I had the utmost confidence. They made good decisions, and as I pray, there's been other events. I had another event. Is actually on an Easter Sunday, a tragic story talking about. Wish we could have done it 30 seconds faster. So, had a man who was abusing his daughter sexually, and it finally got reported. It had been going on for some time, and it was Easter Sunday. I remember it well. We had finished our Easter lunch. I was washing my car and got the call, and ended up making had listening devices and other tools we're using. So they were in a bedroom. Breach got in.
But again, you got to slow it down for us. How do we go from, he's raping his daughter over however many months or years?
The wife called and got one daughter out.
It was like it came to a head.
It came to a head.
Hey, today's the day I'm leaving.
And so patrol came. He then turned into a barricade. He took his own daughter as hostage.
How old is she? About?
I think she's about 14 at this point.
So it's him and the 14-year-old daughter barricaded
and she
in
may
their
have been
home?
16. I may be off on that,
but in a home, like a
in a house,
single-family
in a residential area, in a house, and we felt confident they were in the one bedroom. We put a listening device.
And
something
we're
we could
assuming
hear
he
through
knows
the
he has
wall
a
window.
gun.
He has a gun. He's armed with a handgun. We believe he is, based on the wife's information. We hadn't seen it yet, but get in quietly. He doesn't know we had a key to the front door. He doesn't know we're in the house.
This nighttime or?
This is late afternoon now, early evening.
I have the same thing. I got to slow you down, man. I like
Yeah,
the details.
yeah.
How long are you positioned outside trying to negotiate with him?
Just a couple, maybe 2 hours. And we felt we're going to try to negotiate first, right? Kind of a standard principle. We're going to try to talk you out, and then we're going to try to gas you out before we take you out. And
I like that.
But in this case, the use of gas or chemical agents was not a practical option. So,
and what is he not talking?
No, he's refusing, to talk.
So you can't even talk to him.
No, we're not.
You can't gas him out. So we go right to option
And so
3.
now we're inside, very quiet, very confident that he doesn't hear us, and moments, literally seconds before we go through the door of the bedroom, he kills the daughter.
God, Jesus.
As we're going through the door.
What do you think he heard, or just bad?
I can speculate. It's one of those horrible events that.
I mean, how quiet can you be? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and but why not just kill yourself? Why kill your daughter? And,
did he kill himself too?
Yeah.
God damn, man.
But to see a child lose a life to a sick individual, nothing is.
And that's
you
got to
can
be
experience it more heartfelt, So going through that door on that day, and I went through the door, was just a horrible thing to just think about that,
Folks, it's just a small clip from a much longer podcast. If you want to see the full podcast, and I highly encourage that you do, click the link below. It'll pop up. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you over there.